Now, before we go any further, what I want to talk about is the drag, enter, and leave events. Now, these events happen on the particular drop zones. So this is our designated drop zone. And essentially, not a lot happens when we drag over it. It doesn't really indicate to me that I can do anything or complete the action. So this is where our drag enter and drag leave events come into play. Now, what we've got is our uploader class with our child element of drop zone. So what we're going to say inside of our init is start to build this out. So we can first grab our drop zone. We can say document.querySelector and then go and fetch that particular drop zone, which will then allow us to start binding some events. So if we add an event listener called the drag enter, we can look at this event object. And for now, what we'll do is just log it out as event. And then we'll also put the drag enter so we know which event has actually fired. Now for this, I'm just going to do a straight copy and paste, change our drag enter over to a drag leave. And similarly, our console log we can also change. So when I save this out, we can go and grab our particular element, and you can see that our events are firing based on whether we're in or out of our drop zone. Now, what I like to do on this is if you imagine we are dropping something, we want to indicate to the user that it's all going well and we can in fact complete the mission. Now for this, we're going to add a class in our style called active. This is simply going to set the background of our drop zone over to a nice green color. So if we use hash EBFFF and 6, followed by changing our border. Now we only need to use border color to change this rather than setting a new border. I've also chosen a green, so 2, 4, B, 3, 7, and 3. So those are the two properties that we want to add when we are in fact active. And you may have guessed, when we drag into the particular element, we're going to set it as active, and then we're going to remove it afterwards as well. Now you can see that we have these drag events. So if I was to expand our drag enter, you can see that we have this event.target. So we could say drop zone and then add a class to that. However, I kind of like to keep things nice and pure. So we could say event.target, and then we can just target our class list. Now when we enter, I want to simply add the class of active. Similarly, when we leave, we want to just simply remove that class of active. So we can save this out, and this is going to look really nice when we hover over this. It goes nice and green for us because this is a draggable zone. Now at the moment, we don't have any drop events, so this is why you can see that we have this no dropping allowed, because this is not a droppable component. So we're going to learn how to do that momentarily. Now for this video, I'm going to neaten things up slightly and just change these over to nice one-liners. Instead of having a function which has our event.target.classlist removed. So go ahead and just neaten this up, and then we can jump to the end and close things off nicely. So we should end up with something like this, where we have our drag enter and drag leave. We can then save this out. This has just reformatted it, and you can see it's removed the parentheses on the actual body of the function, but it's still technically a one-line implicitly returned function. So that's it for this video. We're step-by-step learning how to build the foundations of a nice drag and drop feature. We've started off with our draggable component. We've now created a nice drop zone, and then we've added an active class when we are drag entering or drag leaving.